Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. This is Amy, the Mystic Rose Tarot. Welcome. This is part 3 of a 4-part series that I am working on for doing dream work and self-analysis through the tarot by going through our 4 elements. We have earth, air, fire, water. And then all those elements, when they're combined, form the spirit, or known as ether. And that represents the pentacle. And the pentacle is a symbol that is connected to earth. And so what I am going to do with this discussion, I'm going to bring in the earth element and how it could be a guide in our dreams and also through the tarot. So what I will be doing is, since in the past 2 videos, I'm working with 2 decks in particular that I use for dream work. And those 2 decks are the Dreams of Gaia and the Dreamkeepers Tarot. Yes, I do know that they both have dreams in it, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you use these decks exclusively for dreams. But for me, the imagery of both of these decks they have their own dream ethereal feel for me. And so with the decks that I work with for readings, these 2 are the decks that I would refer to for doing any form of subconscious psyche, dream work, personal analysis. So that's what I'm going to be working with from the beginning of the series to the remainder. So I've done fire, I've done water. So we're with earth element, and then we're going to close with the swords. We're going to be moving into the sign of Capricorn, which is an earth sign. December 21st, which is going to be Yule, winter solstice, and also astrologically a very special event with Saturn and Jupiter being in alignment. And I don't want to talk too much about it, but basically what happens is with this alignment, those two opposing energies are going to be aligned. It's a time, it's going to also be in the sign of Aquarius. It's going to be a time of influence for knowledge and attaining knowledge and looking beyond what's going to be happening. So it's going to be a pretty interesting time. Also physically, when these planets are aligned, from what I understand, these 2 planets are supposed to, their energies, they're going to form a bright light that you'll be able to see. But I will be talking about that in a few weeks before that event takes place. So let's go back to Pentacles. So what I will be doing is I'm going to be showcasing both of these decks, Dreams of Gaia and Dreamkeepers Tarot, exclusively with the Pentacles. And I'm not going to go through all the cards. I'm just going to pick out key cards and give a intuitive explanation as to how these can be influential when it comes to understanding our dreams. Earth is about grounding. It's about stability. It's about foundation. It's about prosperity, responsibility, and being of service to others. It's a community-oriented element. And we walk on this earth, so we are responsible in that sense for our actions on this planet. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of negative actions put against this planet, but also there's some positive. So when working with the element of earth in our dreams, I'm going to go through these cards and give different scenarios as to how these cards can help us understand some of the aspects of our dreams. So with that being said, I have here from the Dreamkeepers Tarot by Liz Huston. So we have the first card, Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles, we know with aces, they're always the cards of initiating, beginnings, new discoveries, new experiences, potential new growth. And with the Ace of Pentacles here, I want to read what Liz Huston, the creator of this deck, wrote about the Ace of Pentacles, because what she wrote, I thought, is one of the most simplest explanations to describe the use of the pentacle that we see in a lot of tarot decks and what it symbolizes. So we have the pentagram. The pentagram is the five-pointed star. The pentacle, like a circle, pentacle is what closes the circle. So when you have a pentacle, it's encasing all that energy and creating a solid force. And it is a connection, as I mentioned, to the four elements and enclosing the fifth element of the spirit. So the pentacle incorporates fire, air, water, and earth, and then enclosing it, it is spirit. It's what makes us who we are. So what Liz explains here about the pentagram, she puts here, the pentagram represents the five elements that's believed to make up the body, our physical body. Earth for matter, and earth is always represented north in the pentagram. Air for breath, and air is always represented on the east point of the pentacle. Fire for energy, which is the south point. And then water for fluids, which is the west. And then ether, which represents the psyche, our soul, our subconscious. This is ether or spirit. This is what the circle is. And so the ether, the psyche or soul, our spirit, is represented through these four elements. And she explains here, this powerful symbol suggests the mastery of manifestation, the ability to bring into the material world anything that is desired by the mind or heart. So by encompassing all those different elements within the pentagram, we can bring to us, we can attract to us, we can manifest what we need. And what's needed to complete that is understanding how those four elements work. And that understanding comes through the ether part, through the spirit or the psyche. So in a card like this, we're seeing the beginnings of things that are of importance to us in the realm of security, as I mentioned, prosperity, love, family, working with others, how we interact with others, financial well-being. So with the Pentacles, this suit, we see that journey, and the journey that is evolving around those elements. So in the dream realm, the Ace of Pentacles is more or less if you are dreaming in a landscape where there's not really a lot happening, a lot of growth, but we're seeing potential. We may be seeing some plants that are starting to blossom. We may be seeing some potential that comes up in our dreams. Especially if you're working on a project, you're just starting, you're trying to figure out what's going to happen. Your dreams will manifest that and incorporate it into what we want it to grow into. So we may have a dream where it may look barren, but we're seeing signs where there's interaction that's going on in our dream, communicating with other people. And the feeling is of prosperity. So for the Ace of Pentacles, it's the beginnings, but it's beginnings of growth more in the material aspect or health. Maybe you're coming out of an illness. You're having a dream where things are starting to feel better. You're seeing maybe signs again of growth, things of beauty, things that start looking more healthy. You may have a dream about yourself, seeing yourself being in a more active environment. So those are signs. Pentacles, for me, I feel if they show up in a dream, are signs of healing and coming out of a situation that could have been difficult. And your psyche is feeling that positive direction that's needed. Okay, so let's go. I'm not going to spend too much time with these because then I'm going to start giving a breakdown of each and every card. I just want to go through and just give a general overview. Also seasonally, just right off the bat, have a little spider crawling right over my shoulder. So seasonally, the Pentacles have more power during the months of the winter season between December and February. And so this is a time too that we're coming at the end of the year and we're starting to get ready for the new year. And we need to, our mindset may be more in the planning stages. So dreams around this time of the year, as things are, winding down, we may start having dreams of, planning of what's going to be ahead, what's going to be our next step, what's going to be our next step financially, home-wise, with the family, education. So watch for those key signs. And when you get cards like this in a reading, if you're working specifically, if you get a lot of pentacles in a reading that you're doing for yourself or for someone else and they're inquiring about dream work, and I'm going to be saying this in each and every one of my videos, look for patterns. When you're doing a reading and you're seeing more of one element, if you're seeing a lot of earth, pentacles, there's something there that needs to be brought to the attention of based on the inquiry of the person that you're reading. Are they asking about health? Are they asking about something financially? Are they asking about potential growth in a certain direction with work or money or family or themselves? Watch for that. And if you're seeing more of one element, that's your key. That is something that you need to focus on. Two of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to show both of these cards so you could see. The Dreams of Gaia has its own system. It's not Rider-Waite-Smith. And the Dreamkeepers Tarot loosely goes on the Rider-Waite-Smith system. This is the Dreamkeepers Tarot, and this is the Dreams of Gaia. So we're seeing two different forms, interpretations of balance in our life. Balancing our own well-being, making these choices, making the right choices that will continually have us moving in the right direction for our own personal gain. And it's a duality of what's going on in our working life, but also the other duality of the subconscious. How are we creating these balances? Are we dropping, what we're balancing? Are we dropping one of these aspects? If we're dropping one of our responsibilities, that's something that we need to really pay attention to. So with these two cards, it's very important to have that focus. Also be centered with the energy that we're working with. We want our energy towards our goals to be balanced. Okay, so as you see here in the dreams of Gaia, it looks like she's not looking at what she's doing, but the gaze in her eyes, she's looking straight ahead. And for me, energetically, it's a gaze of focus. She's concentrating. And then here, with the Two of Pentacles, in the Dreamkeepers Tarot, we're seeing a form of balance. This person is actually balancing on one foot. But the placement of the pentacles aren't really in a orderly fashion. One is up in the air, the other one is sort of lower to her body. And one way I will interpret this card is that this could be more of the conscious and subconscious. Pentacles up above is something that she or he is attaining to. And subconsciously in this card, I would feel this is a means of really trying to understand what direction to take in achieving that balance. So I'm taking this more as above, so below. And then we have here, we have a skeleton of a creature here. This card, the way it's depicted, it's very surreal. So I'm not really focused too much on those attributes as I am for the placements of the pentacles. So in a reading like this, for duality and just balance in general, it's really understanding those aspects of what we're balancing, the importance that are in both of those goals, those directions. In a dream situation, you find yourself being overwhelmed, doing so many different things. Also sense the energy in your dream. How are you feeling when you're multitasking or taking in all these different responsibilities? For the most part, you're going to probably feel a little bit overwhelmed. And in a dream realm like that, we want to create balance. We're trying to find a way that we can not feel so burdened with what we're trying to manage within our lives, career, education, family, work, all of that. So in a dream realm, you get the Two of Pentacles. Look into that. Look into how you are working on that. Pentacles again, stability, foundation, concentration. Bring those aspects into into what you are trying to maintain. And in the dream realm, do the same thing. You know, if you're seeing chaos or whatnot, that's something that you need to focus on. It's a clear sign that you need to really pay attention to your actions as to how you're creating, how you're achieving balance. The Three of Pentacles. Excuse me. Okay, this is from the Dreamkeepers Tarot. This one is very fascinating because we have different aspects that are going on in this card. We're seeing two bodies, headless, but when you reverse this card, okay, they're standing in water, and water is of the emotions, of the intuitive, of the subconscious. We see their faces in that realm. But here in the conscious realm, we're seeing exchange of energy. We're seeing a connection between two similar-minded individuals. And also here, the phase of the moon is waxing. Waxing moon is that it's gaining more light, gaining more energy, more strength emotionally. And also we have the moth and the butterfly, which represents transformation and metamorphosis. So we're starting to see the direction that's going on in the Three of Pentacles. Connecting, merging at a emotional and conscious or subconscious level. And it's an understanding of the changes that are going on. Things that you are working on at this time with this card is showing that things are moving, that things are connecting, that things are falling into place. And you're working with others. You're working with others who think and feel and see the same thing. So this is a card very similar to the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is normally, we sometimes see two people working together. It's a balance of duality of energies. The energy of going towards something is balanced. The same here, but this is coming more at a subconscious level, manifesting in a conscious level to like-minded souls to complete and move in the direction that they need to complete their goals. And then here, this is Three of Earth. So this is more of an investment, what you are putting in, all the work that you're putting in and how it's influencing you, how it's coming back to you. So for dreams, look at the energy again. Feel how much effort, how much time you're putting into what you're wanting to manifest and what you would like to have back. I'll move this card a little closer. And also your intention. Is your intention truly coming from the heart? Is it real? Are you just doing it for the sake of, for money and that's it? It doesn't mean anything. This is something with the Three of Earth, which this card is, Three of Pentacles. You're fully investing in what you believe in. And you're working with people who, again, relate to you. They understand, and they're both yourself and everyone else. They're trying to achieve the same goal in the same manner. So it's having that realization. It doesn't necessarily have to be with other people, but just being really honest with yourself and what you want to do. And again, always remember keeping that stability. If your dreams are showing forms of instability, chaos, or whatnot, clearly it is time to focus on bringing that to a halt, taking control of it, managing that energy, and making it so it's calmer. It's more, it's something that you can have more control of, and to mold and shape it into the direction that you want it to go into. Okay, so next we have the Three of Pentacles. I'm sorry, Four of Pentacles. So here we have Four of Earth. Four of Earth for Dreams of Gaia is what we're starting to see build with all our work, the work that we've been putting in, our effort. If you look very closely, this being has really put in literally blood, sweat, and tears to really create what they feel is so important to them. It's just maintaining that dedication and being reliable. So there are in scenes where dream-wise, where you feel that you are just working so hard, and this card comes up specifically depending on the layout that you're using. This is obviously a sign that you are making progress, but also, be kind to yourself. There are, there's the word workaholic. There are people who just love to work, because they're seeing the results. They enjoy what they're doing, and they're seeing the results of it, and they're getting benefits from it. They're seeing the growth. They're seeing that progress that is just so important. But again, it is a time to just take a moment, be kind to yourself. With the cuts and wounds, for me, that's a sign that you are pushing yourself a bit further than necessary. So just be kind and just be gentle. If you're feeling expended in your dream, if you're feeling whatever it is, this card could also represent if you're running, if it's something athletic, if it's office, how you're interacting with people, if there's just a lot of exertion. Try and just realize that you need to stop and just reevaluate how much work you've done, and to save your energy, because you still have more work that needs to be completed. So use this time to just take a breather and just slow the pace down. Okay, so that's with Four of Pentacles. Okay, so the ever popular, not popular, but the ever known fives, the Five of Pentacles, or Five of Earth. I'm gonna focus a little bit more on the dreams of Gaia, because I feel with these images that I'm getting with the Five of Earth from the dreams of Gaia, in the dream realm, it's easy to understand the imagery. So here, fives are known to be of conflict, of distress. In this case, were having conflict and distress and cheating in a sense, being backstabbed in a sense. So here we have an individual with the horns, you know, literally playing cards. You took a chance, you took a risk, and here we have the individual who just realized that they were taken advantage of. They lost their self-worth. They may have lost their money. They lost their confidence. So taking risks that you really didn't look for is what's prominent in this card. You took a chance, but you really didn't see everything for what it was. And then you made the choice and you ended up faltering. So also there's self-blame. This is a card where personally you take a hard loss. In the dream realm, this loss can come in many different forms. Remember, we are focusing on the pentacles, earth, stability. Here we feel like the earth was shaken and literally the rug taken up from under us. We lost our grounding. So if you have a situation where you are feeling that you are cheated and that things are just not, that you're not being told everything, that you're being lied on, use this card as a guide, you know. Also selfishness. This could also be the ego and the conscious self. You know, here, the conscious self made a choice that could have been, that was maybe a selfish choice. It's like, yeah, I'll make this decision. This is what'll come from it. I'll make this choice. And it didn't work. It backfired. You know, hold yourself responsible for your actions, but at the same time, move on from it. When you get fives of any of the suits, cups, swords, pentacles, wands, you know, struggles, conflict, deceit, self-deception. Don't be stuck in this. Don't be stuck in this situation. If you're in a dream where you feel like nothing is working out, you have to be careful. You have to move yourself out from this. You have to continue. Pentacles, again, earth sign. You need to pick yourself up, pull you up from those bootlaces. Tie them up and keep going. Pentacles is of tactile. It's not so much in the subconscious realm. You know, it's not related to water cups. Partially, it is with pentacles because it's the choices. It's how we approach the situation and the actions that we take. You have to be very careful with that and not to get lost. Be aware of what's going on. If your dreams are placing you in an environment where you seem kind of lost, there's something missing from that, and that loneliness, that loss, could be a form of deception that happened. Something that may have happened in the real realm, the conscious realm, and you took it personally. You have this dream and you're just wandering lost. You're like, what did I do? You know? So when you're in a state like that, try not to get too lost in that. You have to understand, you have to look at the situation and come out of it. Okay. So here, 6 of Pentacles. And this is 6 of Earth. Okay. So with these two cards, we have two different scenes taking place. Dreamkeepers Tarot, we see the Rider-Waite-Smith influence of a kind soul giving what they've earned, helping out others. But here with the Six of Earth, similar situation. We're not seeing an interaction with other people. Here we have this figure who is a hardworking individual, takes care of themselves, maintains that balance, has abundance. Okay, we see a bowl of fruit, I believe. We see the sickle, sharing their harvest with others, providing for their family, providing for those who do need it. So with the Six of Pentacles, Six of Earth, we're seeing a responsibility to others. And as I mentioned with the Pentacles, that's part of the influence of the earth element, is giving back to others, putting ourselves second, putting other people ahead of us who are in need. Your dreams could manifest in a way where you want to give back to people. Sometimes that can be repressed, and you're wondering these dreams. I want to give to people, but you can't for whatever reason. Don't let your lack of material issues or whatnot. You can just give back to someone by smiling, having a conversation. It doesn't have to be all monetary. It doesn't have to be clothes or anything like that. Just by interacting, being of service to people. And, voluntarily. You see someone who needs a hand. If someone literally fell, pick them up, help them. There's no fear of that. Okay, I know we have social distancing going on, but I think that's, if someone is in need of help, this is a time not to be so selfish. We're trying to work together, and it's been very hard, as everyone knows. But if we could put those aspects away just temporarily to provide for the community, give love, care, and support, that would be wonderful. Okay. Seven of Earth. Grounding, meditation, purity. Another thing that I want to suggest for exercises for doing dream work is, if you want to work specifically with an element, as I mentioned earlier, let's say you did a reading and you're getting more pentacles and less of, or let's say, no, you're getting more of swords, wands, but not enough pentacles. If you're getting more of one element, less than another, I suggest pulling that suit out, suit being either the wands, cups, swords, or pentacles, whichever there is in that reading lacking, where there isn't that much of, pull that suit out. So if you're lacking earth, pull out that suit, pull out that element of the pentacles, coins, earth, and work with that deck. Look at the cards. And I suggest doing a 1-card reading with that particular element and just focus on it. And this card is a perfect card to get, because if you want to create balance, purity, letting go of things in the past that just aren't working for you and you want to harness that energy. I mean, look at the shoulders here of this individual. They're on fire. We're seeing the energy manifesting from the earth through the chakras. We see the snake, representative Kundalini energy. And we see here, interesting enough, the snake wrapped around the solar plexus. The solar plexus is, if you look here, it's right above the navel. And that is the center of movement, of energy, creativity. And here we're seeing this being focusing on that. This is the root chakra, which is our ultimate grounding. Sacral chakra deals more with like reproduction, how we approach sex, how we see ourselves. Solar plexus, creativity, manifesting that energy. And then we see the heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye, and then the crown. And then we have the tree above for the enlightenment. This is a connection to nature with the seven of earth. Find that connection that you feel that you are missing. In your dreams, there are people who dream that they are out in nature, that they are surrounded by mountains, desert, water, any of those things. We use our psyche, and by using the visuals that we see in this card, focusing on a card like this. And automatically, when you look at any card that just visually moves you, you subconsciously start picking out things that you see in the card. Like, what was the first thing you saw when you looked at this card? Did you see the root chakra? Did you see the tree? Did you see this entire being? And then what happens is when you take that visual, okay, you see it consciously, and you pull out those different elements. Slowly, in your dream state, you're going to start pulling those influences. You may just be focusing on one of the chakras. You'll go to sleep. Maybe that night, maybe 1 or 2 nights later, you're going to have a dream, and it could be related to this. It could be the color that you see. It could be the energy that you feel from the fire, the movement that we see in this card, the manifestation, the stillness, and yet action that's taking place within. And this is one way you can heal with dreams. You start looking at images that are just visually enticing, desirable. Okay. Usually when we see cards like that or images like that, it's something that we're lacking. It's something that we want to have. A personality. We want to feel happy. We want to have that joy of life. So we watch a film and we connect to a character, and we connect to that character's personality. We internalize that, and it manifests into the subconscious through our dreams. So watch out for signs like that. Any minor thing, anything that we see that just somehow triggers, whether you're aware of it or not, and it comes into our dreams. Those are keys. Those are keys for us to work on these aspects, things that we're missing. And it's very important when you're doing dream work to journal. Keep track of those actions. Keep track of the environment that you're in, the people that you saw in the dreams, how they looked, how they feel if you were in contact with them, how they smelled, how the environment smelled. All those things are stimulants. And it really gets you to understand in greater detail what's going on within ourselves. All right. We have 8 of Earth. Okay. So we're going towards the journey, the end of the journey of the Pentacles. And here we are seeing the growing results of the hard work. We're starting to see the beauty in what's been manifested. We're starting to see accomplishments. We're starting to see signs of success. If you keep maintaining that directive attitude, perspective, action in what you're doing, you're going to achieve your goals. It's not a time to falter. This is not a time to second guess. 8 of Earth. If you're seeing abundance and success and results in your dreams, you may interpret that you are heading in the right direction. Okay, so let's flip that around. Let's say you are dreaming that you are in a realm like this, but you don't have it. That's your psyche telling you that you have this potential to do whatever you want. Hands down. If you dream that you're in a castle or something that's showing potential for future growth, money, anything like that, you can have that. If you dream it, I know this sounds silly. If you can dream it, you can do it. You know, yes, easier said than done, but for the most part, if you want to do dream work as a means of self-healing, you have to watch what's happening in your dreams. Because again, these are signs, these are guides to help you. And I mean, my word, wouldn't you want to have a dream that shows that you have this potential? Sorry, I'm going back and forth. You have this potential? This is a wonderful dream. You know, the environment. So look at the energy, what's going on, what is happening. I will bring this one. I will bring the Dreamkeepers Tarot because it does pose a different environment. Here with the 8 of Pentacles, this is the 8 of Earth. We're finding stability, but this stability is coming more in the form of knowledge, understanding what's in our surroundings, learning from it. And we're starting to see the results, similar to the 8 of Earth. We're starting to see the work that we've put in and learning and understanding and moving towards our goals. We're starting to see things take shape. And it's just a matter of staying on course. Here, I just want to point this out. This individual, and I believe Liz mentioned that this is a compass. Okay, remember in school the compass where we had to make graphs and charts or whatnot. This is a very subtle indication about staying on the right path. Follow the direction. There are answers that are waiting there for you. So it's not a time to look back. Okay. you got here, this is 9 of Earth. Very similar here with the 9 of Pentacles. But here we're showing sharing, being more charitable with what we have. Very similar to, I believe it was the 7 of Pentacles, or 6 of Pentacles. Sharing our earnings, whether it's spiritual or material. Taking pleasure and being without any selfishness towards others. And if you look very carefully here, I mean, just the look on this individual's face is just very sincere. And 2, we see here a butterfly that's just merging out of this cup that's barely floating above her hands. This is a card of just lightness of being. There's no heaviness or anything of that nature with her intent for helping anyone who is in need. Here's quite a little bit the opposite. Here we're seeing the abundance of what has been built. This is basically the completion of everything that has been manifested. We're seeing the growth. We're seeing the environment of success. Everything is of prosperity and luck. And again, as I mentioned, when you're in the dream realm and we're dreaming of walking in that rose garden or walking in an environment that just feels so comfortable and nice, that can also be not so much, it is something that you can attain, but it's also healing, because we put ourselves in the dream realm where we like to run away. We like to get away from stress and any difficult decisions or incidences that have happened. So our mind can shift and place us in this dream realm of where we are in this wonderful environment where everything just feels good. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong in dreaming in a state where you're surrounded by abundance, even though you may not have it. But I feel an environment like that, even though things may be hard, it's a release. And I've mentioned that dreams are a form of self-therapy. Okay. But that kind of therapy can only go so far if there are more issues involved that go beyond the dream realm. Mental health issues, depression, manic states. I want to point out, and I stated in all my videos, dreams are guides. They can help us understand, and I do say that the tarot can be used as a guide for healing through our dreams. But these are more aspects of what's going on in our conscious realm. Because when it comes to anything of mental instability, that goes way beyond dreams. So if that's the case, go and seek help. Go in and see a health professional. People who have night terrors, who are having dreams of that nature, and they're repetitive, and psychologically they're really creating an imbalance or disturbing, your everyday life. There's something more going on. Also keep in mind our psyche, our subconscious can hold stuff that we don't even know about, and fortunately or unfortunately, some of these things can start coming up later in life and you don't realize that maybe you held back something traumatic, and it comes into life 10, 20 years later. Something triggered your psyche to open up that portal of something that happened in the past. And if it's continual and there's a lot of pain involved in it, go and seek professional help, because there's obviously something that's going on that goes way beyond the tarot. But I do believe through our dreams, as I mentioned, it is a form of self-therapy, and they can help us understand certain aspects of situations and who we are. Okay. With that aside, 10 of Earth. This is finding our true selves. The journey has completed. We've gone through the duality process of balancing so many different things, communicating with others through community, helping each other out, being of service to people who do need, making wrong choices, and having to fall back maybe a few steps, taking a hit at the ego because you made a choice that was more of a selfish move than one that could have been a little bit more mindful. Accepting help from other people. Moving on from our challenges. Continuing on our journey. Healing. Knowing that you can create the success that you need. And here we have the individual removing the mask, showing the outcome of the experience that they've had. Strength, harmony, everything is in balance. But we have to go through that whole process. Again, with all the suits in the tarot, we go through the journey of the cups. We go through the journey of the emotions. We go through the journey of the wands, the journey of movement and energy and creativity, journey of the swords, where we're really trying to understand our thoughts, making rational thoughts, not being held back by our thoughts, letting go, dealing with our wounds if we've made bad choices, the emotions, how we feel intuitively and whatnot. These are all the journeys that we go through, from the aces to the 10. And then the court cards represent aspects of who we are. And that's where we're going to move on to. Now, the court cards are different. Dreams of Gaia, there's not really court cards. They have king and queen, but the cards previous to those, the first card is the card of balance. This is the card that shows what needs to be realigned to create the balance that we need. I'm going to go through that first. And then the second card in the Dreams of Gaia represents the guide, what the king and queen look for their influence. And then I'm going to go to the Dreamkeepers Tarot for the core cards, because those are they're pretty straightforward. Again, the Dreams of Gaia is not an RWS influence deck. It's its own system. So to explain these cards, it's slightly different with the Dreams of Gaia. So this is the 11 of Earth. And with the Dreams of Gaia, this relates to the balance of heaven and earth. Okay. As above, so below. Creating stable relationships, how our spiritual body is in connection to our physical body. So it's creating an understanding and merging of these two realms. Connecting with nature. I think this is so important for those who are earth signs. Those who are Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. I'm an earth sign, and I live in nature. My environment is all nature, and it's where I need to be. And for other earth signs that are not surrounded by aspects of nature, trees, fresh air, it is so important to put yourself in that environment when you can. So if you live in the city or an area where it's just a work environment where you really just go home, work, work, home, so on and so forth, you need to take that break and to get outside. That's why you look in some major cities where these tall office complexes, they have trees inside. They create an environment so that when you leave your office space, you could sit down. You have trees. There's also sounds of birds, or maybe there are birds in there, the way that they have the environment set up. It is so important to stay connected to Earth, nature, to get away from it all. That helps heal the spirit. That helps nurture and re-energize the soul. Taking the mundane, and putting it into context to something that enlivens all the senses. I'm going to read here. You are a spiritual being, a soul living in a physical body in order to experience and learn from life. That's important. You shouldn't be so limited in staying in that same environment. When people say, hey, you got to go and get out, you should go out and explore. This helps, again, heal and structurally, in a spiritual sense, change our subconscious way of how we connect to things. If you go from an office space and you go outside, those are two different worlds, two different experiences. And it's something that consciously we will take with us. We rejuvenate. We give the conscious mind a break. to heal. And in turn, when you're placed in an environment like that, you will also see, dream-wise, a shift. You know, don't be surprised after working so many hours, days, weeks, months without a vacation, and you put yourself in a completely different environment. Watch how your dreams will shift. You may have more dreams that are, you may have dreams that are more fun. Dreams that are showing a release, a letting go. And in turn, spiritually, we start growing. We start feeling something happening inside. So owe it to yourself to go out and explore. Look for different things. Okay. So the card that I was talking about that we could say is the guide for the king and queen. In this case, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, this is called the seneschal, Seneschal. And here we see the bull. And this is seen as the person who's the mediator, the person that you can rely on. They know how to follow direction, rules. They have respect for authority. This is a card that shows control. Control of all the circumstances that are going around, experiences that you've had and understanding it. You use your mind and your heart, and you put all those skills together when it comes to organizing things. That's your balance. Using your own power, knowing how to use this in a very efficient manner. And that power comes from influences of being around people that have guided this individual so that they can shape and create their own personal power and be guides to other people. So again, this is the seneschal. And this is someone, again, who will be of a great guide and support in whatever you need. Hey, sweetheart. Sorry, my cat just came onto my lap. You get all cozy there? Alrighty. Okay. All right, so we have, oh dear, hang on one second. I showed you the wrong card. This is the seneschal. My mistake. So again, we have the loyalty and dedication and being organized, and here we have the loyalty of the dog. This was just so similar, and I didn't even catch it. This is our Queen of Pentacles, and here we have the bull. And what's interesting with the Queen of Pentacles is we're seeing a culmination of the Empress. The maternal aspect, fertility, prosperity, nurturing, just being really authentic in every way possible. And being there for people, being supportive, being kind, being that strong, compassionate person that someone can go into. that someone can go to. Taking care of responsibilities, sharing your experience, using your knowledge and sharing it with others. This is an authoritative figure, but feminine-wise, feminine energy, very strong. So dream-wise, we dream of different forms of authority and energy, whether it's masculine or feminine. But here we have a strong maternal individual. And to have that could be in the form of our mother, or it could be of a male individual, but having strong feminine influences. And they can be such wonderful guides when it comes to learning about being there for others and being supportive. And some dreams I have of my mom, she's passed on. It's good to have her come into my dreams, no matter if the situation's a little bizarre. It just goes to show that her influence is still part of me, and it makes you strong. So in a reading, if this card comes up, especially if it's alongside the Empress, this is a woman of guidance, of great influence to us. And it represents a part of who we are, what we may already have, or what we could be lacking. But either way, it's a card to really embrace. We have a strong feminine individual show up in our dreams. We have to follow that. We have to acknowledge who this person is or what this individual could be telling us more about ourselves or guiding us. Okay, and then lastly, we have the King of Earth. Okay, so this is the masculine version of the Queen of Earth. Strong father figure, hard worker, dedicated. And not that all the other kings aren't. Keep in mind, this is specifically based on the element. And here's the element of earth. This is someone who is connected to earth, working with their hands and their mind as well, but being very successful. They've mastered their skills. They are accomplished in what they do. They're not lazy. You respect what you've done, all the hard work that you've done. It's very important. Oops. Very open, honest. Someone that you can look up to. Masculine energy for guidance. And again, this energy can come from a female individual who just may have strong masculine qualities. We are all made up of both sexes, energy-wise, masculine and feminine. It's just how we take that energy and how it manifests in our dreams. That's another thing to take into consideration. Are your dreams more of a masculine feel? Do they feel aggressive? Do they feel like challenging, like you want to take on a challenge? Or are they feeling feminine, more softer? Connecting with one's own sexuality and how we come to terms with those aspects, the energy, the sexual side of it, when it comes to situations in the dream world. Okay, so I'm going to close with the Dreamkeepers Tarot. I went on a little bit longer, but I want to spend time with these two decks and show the different faces. Okay, I can't really compare the court cards with the Dreamkeepers Tarot versus the Dreams of Gaia because they're completely different. But just to explain, Page of Pentacles, again, pages represent individuals, their characteristics, their personalities. This can actually be a physical person that we know, or these could be attributes of who we are. This could be our inner self. This could be aspects of ourselves that we would like to be, or something that we need to go back to and explore. So the page is the beginnings of is an individual who is beginning to take on a new adventure, similar to the Ace of Pentacles, but completely different in the sense that the Ace of Pentacles represents an experience that is going to take place. Growth, success. Here, this represents an individual who will be going through this transition. Could be someone that you know, someone who may be starting a new job. Again, this can also represent health, changes that are going on within the realms of our well-being, spiritually and also physically. So it's just connecting with that energy, that new experience that we're about to explore. But we have to be careful too, because here with the Knight of Pentacles, we have to be responsible. Knights represent movement and action and being held accountable for what we do. So here, with the Knight of Pentacles, we see an individual holding that pentacle and holding a book. It could be a book of guidance, but not really paying too much attention. We really need to be certain with this particular card, the Knight of Pentacles, that we are aware of our surroundings. If you look closely, the person is just kind of being light-footed on their foundation, which is very small. Their space is very limiting. And the energy in this card is kind of coming across, yeah, whatever. I would say with this, the Knight of Pentacles, to just be aware of the responsibilities that you have and the actions that you're taking. And the same goes in the dream realm. Watch what's going on in your dreams. Is there a lack of awareness that's going on? Are you not taking things seriously? Be mindful. Be aware of responsibilities and the lack of responsibilities that may be coming up in our dreams. Our dreams serve a purpose. They serve a reason why we are dreaming the way that we are. And so if there is a lack of responsibility or dedication, it's going to show up in our dreams. So we have to be aware of this. And again, this could be aspects of ourselves and or of people that we know, people that you could be surrounded by. And then here I have the King of Pentacles, very similar to the King of Earth. Someone who has mastered their skills very well, knowledgeable, steadfast in their in their goals to attain to where they've been. So again, with similar to the King of Earth, here the King of Pentacles, someone that we can look up to, someone for guidance. And again, if we meet someone like this in our dream realm, this could be an influence of an aspect of the individual self, or again, someone that we work with, someone that we admire or respect. And those are attributes that we would like to have, and those are all attainable. But if you do have a dream of someone that you hold great regard to, that is a good sign, because it's a sign that you are acknowledging their skills, their knowledge, and it's becoming an influence onto you, which in turn will create growth if you continue working with that person or surrounding yourself in that environment. And same here for the Queen of Pentacles. Similar to the Queen of Earth, the dreams of Gaia. Here we have a woman, abundance, wealth. I'll say it's not very Empress-like. This is more of I feel more of a individual who has had success, but also caring. Someone that you can go up to for guidance. Very happy. Very open-hearted. An individual, feminine energy-wise, or a female who has had great success in their lives. They had to work hard to get to that, but in turn, this is the result. Hard work, happiness, joy, and being there for others, being there for support and for guidance. And that's our Queen of Pentacles from the Dreamkeepers Tarot. So again, when we work with the tarot for analyzing our dreams, for healing, journal, pay attention to every detail if you can in those dreams. When looking back on your dreams, what have you seen? What has been the common aspect? What's been the key visual? What was the conversation like? Write down all of that, how it felt, the environment, so on and so forth, how the person was energy-wise. All of that are the influences that we take from the outside world and how we internalize it. And again, this is about pentacles and earth, grounding, stability. We're seeing aspects in our dreams where there isn't that, where it's chaotic, challenging, influences that are coming in that aren't so balancing. I'd recommend doing a general reading, asking the guides in your tarot or oracle deck, but specifically the tarot, phrase it in a way that you're trying to get some context into your dreams, but phrase it in such a way that when you pull the cards, again, look for the patterns, look at the elements. What are we seeing more of? If you're getting elements that are showing more of that are very similar to your dreams, if you're getting more wands, fiery energy, that's something that you need to be aware of. And you may need to focus more on the emotional aspect. You may need to soften a little bit with your energy. Be more grounding. Put more thought, the swords. Put more thought into your actions. And in turn, that influences us at a subconscious level. Again, everything that we see, we internalize it. And it shapes and forms how our dreams are. So if there is instability and challenges, Pentacles are a wonderful, wonderful element, the earth element, to find that moment of stillness and to create the balance that you need. There's going to be challenges along the way, but we have to move on from challenges. You have to keep moving forward. We have to let go and heal and see what our outcome is going to be. So keep that in mind when doing dream work. This topic of elements, working with the elements and the tarot in our dreams, it's ongoing. I'm basing what I'm discussing with you with my own experience, readings I've done for myself with my dreams, and just sharing it with others. And I'd love to get feedback and hear how your dreams have been manifesting and how they feel. It's so important. Again, write everything down. If something stands out, if it's a color, a smell, or anything like that, look into it. And it builds, and it builds on. You can be having a dream and then you have another dream. These dreams can somehow be interconnected. You don't realize it, but when you start writing your dreams and you start looking back, don't be surprised if you start seeing a pattern. You know, they could be in a different environment. You could be talking with someone different, but there's a pattern that's going on that you may see the more that you dream. So that's one way of trying to make sense or try to understand a little bit of who we are and how we see and think and react towards things. Alrighty. Thank you so much. This is Dreamwork and working with the tarot with the element of earth and pentacles or coins. With the tarot, I've been working with the Dreams of Gaia deck and the Dreamkeepers tarot. Any questions, please feel free to leave in the comments. I have one more element left, and that is the element of air, which is related to the suit of swords. And I will do a video for that soon. I have a few discussions I'm going to be releasing on YouTube in the next week as we get closer to the holidays. So I will be sharing that sometime soon. But again, this is my experience when it comes to working with dreams and trying to make sense of them through the tarot. Tarot is a wonderful guide. But again, as I mentioned earlier in my video, if there are issues that are going on, depression, instability of the mind, anything like that, seek mental health professional. Just go and seek some help, because again, any form of divination practice is it's a guide. It can help. And it may not be the panacea for everything, but at least it can bring some awareness and some understanding the situation. But if you go to the tarot, you're trying to work with something that's beyond what the tarot can do. That's when you have to go and get outside help. So I will end with that. Look forward to reconnecting soon. This is Amy, the Mystic Rose Tarot. All my information to reach me is in the description. I do readings, and I cover a wide spectrum of topics and subjects when it comes to doing tarot consulting. So feel free to visit my website, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Look forward to connecting again soon. Good night.